All right, let's start with
Just
this.
because it's my patriotic duty. Have you condemned Hassan Piker?
I have not.
What?
Do I have to leave now?
You do. I mean, in fact, we're calling the cops.
Go back down the stairs.
In fact, we're calling the cops. Yes. No, up the stairs and down.
We literally brought you here to ask you to condemn him. Go back down the stairs.
Yes, get out. I mean, I obviously do because I'm a patriotic American. No, just I guess that for people that aren't aware, there was a small kerfuffle. There was a small kerfuffle. There has
3-week-long media cycle.
A 3-week-long media cycle where there's a lot of centrist Democrats and pro-Israel donors that are trying to discredit Hassan in particular because he has joined up with progressive candidates across the country, including yourself, doing rallies. We played some footage of it earlier this week at Michigan and Michigan State of the lines that were outside of your rallies to see you and Hassan together.
And the queen from Western PA, Summer Lee,
gotta say.
You know, in all this coverage, the thing that bothers me the most is the Summer Lee erasure.
It's because she's such, what did you call her, the Tim Duncan of the progressives in the House?
That is so good.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Phenomenal fundamentals.
Phenomenal,
right?
but
You're
not,
like squares her shoulders, takes a shot. I'm like, whoa.
But she's not gonna be like the flashiest or the one that's seeking the.
But the truth is she is also flashy too. I don't know why she doesn't get the shine she deserves. Honestly, it is pretty crazy because she can be flashy. I mean, she's a brilliant orator. I mean, she's great. I do wonder about that a lot. Misogynoir, maybe. That's probably what it is. That's what it is, right? Because like, I feel a similar way about Ayanna Pressley, who also is occupying her own lane and has been, to my surprise, a little bit, because I thought she was going to be like one of the weaker members of the squad. I mean, this was many years ago at this point, so like it doesn't matter. I'm just saying like that was my initial assessment. I was so wrong. She's also been really amazing. Like she's been one of the best congresspersons in general as well. She's very progressive. Obviously Summer Lee is probably one of she's like top 10 in Congress. So it's really interesting that the only black woman that was able to cut through that noise outside of just like being in Congress for many, many decades has been Jasmine Crockett. And it's kind of unfortunate that like her policy side was not up to par with some of these other people that we're talking about, right? Like she was nowhere near as bold in her policies, but yeah, it's got to be because she's a black woman. Like the Summer Lee erasure. Because she's so phenomenal, dude. I love her so much. She is incredible. The Emerson pollster talked about you to the Forbes. Wait, what the fuck?
El Sayed has.
What the hell? All right, let's watch this and then
most attention, but she's always showing up in the right way. And look, if you can convince her, I want her to run for Senate in Pennsylvania.
Listen, I literally told her, I mean, I was watching her, just as someone who's sort of a student of the game, like I really enjoy public communication as an art form. And watching her take that mic and then just set the crowd on fire. I was just like, oh my God, like it would be so fun to watch you run against that ogre.
Yes.
I would love that, right? I mean, and you know, and Tim Duncan wins championships. I'm just saying, doesn't just win games; he wins championships.
He wins championships. That's what. But I think that gosh, it was the previous Democratic senator that just lost.
Bob Casey.
To Casey. Yeah, Casey. He's already like. Him coming out the other day and saying, "Oh, I'm going to run for Fetterman's seat." To me, I think he saw how Summer Lee was kind of putting herself out there a little bit and wanted to head that off. That's just my speculation.
Honestly, let's have him jump in.
Sure.
And then have Summer Lee jump in. I actually love those odds.
I love those odds too. Well, I mean,
if there's any other white dude who wants to run in Pennsylvania, right, preferably over the age of 60, right, please jump on in. There is an open U.S. Senate seat, and then like Summer Duncan's jumping in.
Yeah, exactly.
Ray of sunshine there are so many plays on her name. I love it.
It really could work. And she's exactly the kind of voice that people are craving, similarly to what you're seeing with your campaign. Like, this has been a long campaign process so far. And I was looking, Michigan primary's not till August?
August. And we've been at this now for a year.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating a year into this campaign on April 17th.
Yeah. So just reflect on, I think, one, your surge in popularity is really coming at the right time right now. I know that these attacks on Hassan really backfired because didn't you guys get a lot of small dollar contributions once there was more sunlight on your campaign through this? It's been a bit of a slower buildup, but right now it feels like there are a lot of establishment Democrats panicking about where you're at in this race.
Yeah, I mean, look, we had a clear sense of the race we wanted to run from the jump. And I also knew it was coming for me. We watched it happen in 2025. I mean, just to speak to the controversy, quote unquote, TM. Hassan was invited by Vice President Harris to the DNC to stream from the DNC. Yeah. The last time he appeared with anybody in this race, it was actually Senator McMorrow, who was also at the DNC speaking. And then the audacity that we have to do the same thing that Vice President Harris did, it was wild to me. Now, look, I knew that there were going to be some voices, particularly from the pro-genocide wing of the Democratic Party, that were going to come out and say, well, how could you? I didn't realize it was going to be a 3-week news cycle in a news cycle that should have been 100% focused on an illegal, unjustifiable war. And then people ask, well, why do we lose? Well, I think it's this story in a nutshell. Number one, we miss opportunities to speak to the broadest issues that affect everyday people, because this war is literally lighting our tax dollars on fire to raise our gas prices for God knows what reason, except for the interests of a foreign government. Then there's the fact that people are frustrated because we're campaigning. My understanding of politics now, like I studied complicated things, okay? Mm-hmm. This one's not that complicated. If you believe in what you have to say, you should take what you have to say out to people who might want to hear what you have to say, which is why I go on Fox and why I appear with Hassan Piker. Now, nobody's yelling at me for going on Fox, which is interesting, because I would argue that the things that they talk about on Fox seem to be less consistent with the broader thrust of our message that we are for human rights and for healthcare and against corporations in our politics. But now what's happened is, because of the power of money in the Democratic Party, there are a lot of folks who are jumping in and echoing this because they're afraid of what it means for the flow of AIPAC and other pro-Israel money into the Democratic Party. And so how dare we speak to that issue if it's going to interrupt the flow of the gravy train to Democrats? But here's the problem. I would rather have our morals than have their money. And that's the thing that they find so frustrating.
But you're also campaigning in such a Muslim way.
Narrowing your eyes.
I generally, when I make comments to people, I slip my gaze.
Yeah.
And then I just speak in an accent.
Yes, right. Really play it up for people that don't realize. I mean, the Free Press, I guess that was Olivia Reingold wrote about you in a way that would make like the racist cartoonists in the South blush, like in the Jim Crow era. I mean, I just, could you reflect on the Islamophobia that's been directed towards you? Like,
honestly,
and Hassan is a stand-in for that too. That's really what they're saying. Your opponents are afraid to attack you on a racist basis, so they're attacking Hassan on a racist basis.
Look, I'll just tell you this. You know, I'm surprised it didn't come from my beard. Like, cause like as a Muslim dude, as an Arab dude, you're supposed to have a nice beard. Like, I got a weak ass beard. I don't know what it is. I always have. My dad's got an incredible beard. All right, he's got 2 sons. My brother has a different mother than me, and both of us got weak ass beards. So in some respects, part of me was just like, at least if I had a nice beard, I'd be like, damn, like come at me for my beard, but I'd have an awesome beard though.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, it's not my job to defend myself.
Yeah.
It's not. Like I'm not in this because I need to defend myself against their attacks. I'm much more focused on defending people who have been subjected to a politics that is literally picking their pocket to drop bombs on other people rather than to provide them health care or make sure their kids go to a dignified school.
Breathing room to the Islamophobia.
I'll let you guys comment on that. It's not my job. My job is to focus on the issues that I've been fighting on for a year now, and frankly, 10 years since I jumped into public service. I want money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. If they're going to come at me as a stand-in for something, if they're going to try and otherize me, if they're going to try and say, you know, I don't believe enough in American values, those are not things I haven't heard before. I've been me my whole life.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I know enough to know that we are our best when America empowers one another despite our differences. And the most amazing thing about the democratic process is that we're constantly testing whether or not America is as big as she says she can be. And guess what? Most of the time, that test comes back positive. Because, you know, when folks can vote for somebody who might not share the same faith, who might not share a name that they're used to, we're saying that America is about those ideals. And I'll just tell you, like, one of the most formative moments of my life was watching my dad become an American. I was 6 years old. I remember my mom, my stepmom, Jackie, who's a daughter of the American Revolution, telling me, like, Bubba's going to become an American tomorrow. And I looked at her for a minute. I was like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm expecting he's like going to come out with like blonde hair and blue eyes, right? Because like, that's what I always thought when I was a little boy.
Right.
Like, that's American, you're Egyptian, right? And I watched him swear an oath to the Constitution, and coming out of it, he still had his accent. He still looked like me. And she's like, Bubba's an American now. I was like, no, he's not. She's like, yes, he is. America
I
is
told you,
not
he loves America,
about
bro.
what you look like. It's not how you sound like. It's what you believe in. And so, you know, all of these folks who are fighting us about what America can be.
It's so funny because he is the classic immigrant story. You know what I mean? Guy whose dad comes to America. He's born in America. He fucking loves America. Like, this is it. This is the most beautiful story about America.
I know I'm fighting for an America that is as big as she says she is. The America that's always given me so much, and that really should be about giving us so much more.
And making a positive case for immigration is something that I think the Democratic Party is starved for. In your time campaigning throughout Michigan, what have voters said to you about ICE and your message on this as somebody who is the child of immigrants?
Yeah, I went to Minneapolis at the height of Metro Surge. And I went because I wanted to understand what it looks like when our federal government weaponizes itself against the Constitution under the pretext of immigration. Everybody who has looked at this honestly understands that ICE has nothing to do with the southern border, has nothing to do with immigration. Because, like, I don't know, I learned maps. Minneapolis, nowhere near the southern border. Michigan, where they're setting up, nowhere near the southern border. This is about weaponizing a paramilitary force against the Constitution itself. And I think people understand that. And what's funny is watching folks who should understand in their bones how un-American this is, talking about reforming or retraining. I'm like, what do you say to the ICE officer who used a little boy as bait? Like, can you imagine the PowerPoint slide? Like, you're the guy who's supposed to design the PowerPoint slide to teach that guy to do something different. I'm sorry, but like, if your humanity did not stop you from using a child as bait, you do not deserve to work in the federal government anymore. You never deserved that in the first place. So people understand that abolishing ICE is not this extreme fringe position. Abolishing ICE is the moderate position. Holding people accountable who broke constitutional law, right? Forget civil law, right? Like, I mean, immigration law is not criminal law. It's civil law. It's like you didn't pay your parking ticket law. And they're breaking the foundational law of the land, the Constitution, over the idea that we ought to be enforcing civil law with guns covering our faces.
And it's also, it connects with your broader critique of America's support for Israel and our support for the genocide in Gaza, because immigration enforcement didn't always look this way. But since 9/11, this has been the infrastructure that the United States has built out, and it's affecting not just the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who are currently being impacted through violence with U.S. bombs and Israeli bombs as well, but it affects people at home. And has that been a salient kind of argument for you on the campaign trail, connecting the struggle of everyday people in Michigan and even their experiences with ICE, which I think is a part of this? I don't think it's a part of the same infrastructure. Have they made those connections? Do they understand fundamentally how linked we all are here?
So fundamentally. And here's the thing about it. Like, I don't need the good people of Michigan to understand the plight of the Palestinian people to want to stand up against this. I just need them to understand their own plight. Every dollar that we send abroad to subsidize genocide, every dollar that we send abroad to drop bombs in Iran or bombs in Lebanon or bombs in Gaza is a dollar that we're not spending to provide your kid a good school, your kid healthcare, your kid dignified infrastructure that you guys drive on every single day. And at the end of the day, we are getting our pockets picked by our own government, being wasted around this idea that somehow we've got an enemy outside at the gate or we've got enemies within, when really at the end of the day, the enemy is this idea that we cannot invest in ourselves and build good things for each other. So people get that 100%. And like, people are feeling that. You can't afford your groceries? Well, probably has something to do with corporations who are manipulating our government to focus on issues that have nothing to do with you, right? You can't afford to fill your tank with gas? Well, turns out that when we bomb oil depots abroad, it raised the price of oil. You can't afford to see a doctor? Well, we could be investing in your ability to see a doctor, except for instead we're wasting our money on ICE, $185 billion. ICE funded to the tune of $185 billion. That's more than the budget of the U.S. Marines. It's more than the budget of the FBI.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Damn. Those bars. Okay, so this was Toure's show. He did a 17-minute video about me. I didn't get to watch it, but I'm excited.
They love Hassan Piker.
Israel is an extension of American empire. Israel is not a separate entity from the United States of America. There's a reason for why Israel is this malignant force in the region, this violent entity in the region, a constant destabilizing force in the region, and that is because it corresponds to the American grand design in this resource-rich region. Israel is a attack dog for American empire here.
A bunch of Democrats say Democrats should shun Piker because he's bad for the party. He's a loose cannon. He says wild stuff that's crazy.
Let's be clear, Hassan is radical. He says things that are indefensible, and he's definitely a wild card.
Some Democrats are trying to cancel Hassan Piker, and that could have huge consequences for the Democratic Party. He's been accused of making anti-Semitic comments, calling Orthodox Jews inbred, and for defending Hamas. Piker denies he's anti-Semitic, saying that his criticisms are focused solely on the Israeli government and Zionism, not Jewish people as a whole. But the centrist think tank Third Way sent a memo urging Democratic leaders to distance themselves from left-wing voices like Piker. They even called him anti-American, saying that he's...
I like that TikTokers have a better style guide than virtually every mainstream legacy publisher, because like this guy literally says centrist think tank. Every legacy publisher refers to Third Way as a left-leaning think tank. It's not true. It's a centrist think tank. It's a center-right think tank.
no different from ultra-right-wing streamers like Nick Fuentes.
Hassan Piker doesn't actually belong in the pro-democracy coalition. He's an illiberal guy. He's a China, Russia sympathizer who hates women hates Israel. Like, he's all the toxic things.
At the end of the day, the real problem that is being presented here is Israel. They don't like that there are loud, outspoken anti-Zionist voices that Democratic politicians are hearing from. And they want to desperately gatekeep who their politicians speak to and listen to. They're actively trying to turn someone like myself into a toxic person within the party. The only thing that is correct about this assessment is that I am vulgar. But that's just who I am. I'm a vulgar person, and I think that's still infinitely better than being a civil war criminal. Being a civil person that defends war crimes or defends war criminals is, in my opinion, far worse than being a vulgar person that is on the side of justice and on the side of truth.
Does this man look bad for the party?
Every single dollar that is spent on a bomb is stolen from each and every one of you, because that's a dollar that they spend blowing up a school overseas instead of building schools in your neighborhoods.
You want to know the worst possible outcome for 2028? Tucker Carlson runs on an anti-Israel platform, and the Democrats put forward a pro-liberal Zionist, pro-defending America's military might candidate. Tucker Carlson wins by Ronald Reagan numbers. The Democratic Party is done. The next wave of fascism is here. That's what I'm afraid of. Tucker Carlson versus Gavin Newsom is unlimited Tucker Carlson victory. This is why I've been trying to urge Democrats to take a stronger stance against Israel. You cannot have a guy like Tucker Carlson lead the conversation on Israel. The Democrats, as a national party, have to universally oppose Israel. If you don't do that, a guy like Tucker Carlson, who has been leading the conversation for normies on the issue of Israel, will come out and destroy you.
What is Piker really about? He's a very articulate, well-read, intellectual, good-looking, manly star of the far-left media ecosphere. When the left said, we need our own Joe Rogan, here's a charismatic, masculine, progressive media star. Is that not the left's Joe Rogan? As if that's what the left needs. Piker's on the far left, like he's a fan of Bernie, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. He's for Medicare for all, taxing the wealthy, free public transit, affordable housing, radical lefty stuff. He thinks Iran should have a nuclear weapon because that would keep other countries from attacking it.
I think they should have nukes. If they had nukes, it would be like North Korea. Every country in the aftermath of the dissolution of the USSR, where a separate world power could actually protect other countries under their own autonomous nuclear umbrella, you got to build nukes. That's it. You have to build nukes. If Iran had nukes, then the region would be much more stable. Iranian population would be safer right now, okay? They wouldn't be getting fucking bombed. Israel would not even be able to do half of the shit that it's doing in the region. That is precisely the reason why Israel never wanted Iran to get nukes.
He's a Marxist-adjacent democratic socialist, but none of that is why anyone is attacking him. Piker is at the heart of a fight about what direction the Democratic Party is going to take in the near future, because Piker represents the rapidly rising pro-Palestinian left, a faction that could become a kingmaker within the Democratic Party, because today, 2/3 of Democratic voters are pro-Palestinian. But
is this guy
most Democratic...
No, he's not. He's not an op.
Democratic elected officials...
What are you talking about? He's showing full context of my statements. Why would that be an op? My ops... You can tell when my ops are my ops because they don't show, no matter how like crazy something might seem, even with the Iran statement, right? They would never show the full context of what I'm talking about.
Pro-Israel. We are in a battle over who the Democratic Party is going to be, and Piker is at the heart of that as one of the loudest, most pro-Palestinian voices out there. He's pro-Palestinian in a way that's shocking to some people. Piker has said that Hamas is 1,000 times better than Israel. That is not wrong. Israel's decades of genocide, murder, apartheid against Palestinians is far worse.
Israel is an apartheid state.
Piker has said he has no issue with Hezbollah. Again, This is shocking to people who don't know a ton about the situation. But Hezbollah was created in response to Israeli attacks on Lebanon. It exists to protect Lebanon from Israel. Hezbollah would not exist if Israel had not repeatedly attacked Lebanon. They are defenders of a small nation that cannot protect itself against an Israeli army that is funded by the U.S. People are horrified by Piker saying these things about Hamas and Hezbollah, partly because they hear a sanitized version of who Israel is.
Many people have just never encountered my worldview in America.
As Piker said on Pod Save America, Israel creates October 7th for Palestine all the time.
I'm a harm reduction voter. I'm a lesser evil voter, and therefore I would vote for Hamas over Israel every single time, because I'm looking at the situation as a paramilitary organization that has like a political party as well, a Politburo as well, that is entirely comprised not as an alien force, but of orphaned children that have, had their parents killed by an apartheid state that has been dominating the lives of Palestinians for 80 years at this point. And they've done a genocide at this point as well. But like, it started off with the Nakba and has only evolved as technology has gotten better to become more heinous. Gaza is this hermetically sealed area that many people correctly point to as the world's largest open-air prison before October 7. I think that Hamas's tactics, which I oppose at times, right, are secondary to this conversation, because it's like placing a lot of emphasis on the Nat Turner rebellion instead of talking about the much larger, much more consequential, much bigger harm that chattel slavery was to black people, to like sell black people and to rape them and treat them as though they weren't human. I think that's a far larger systemic force that is going to make the Nat Turner rebellion look inconsequential in comparison to the greater harm. What Hamas has done, especially when there has been an October 7 times 1,000, if not more than 1,000 at this point, in the hands of Israel against the Palestinian population in its entirety. I mean, they're doing an October 7 to Lebanon right now as we speak.
People hear Hamas and Hezbollah and they say things like, violence is the problem. No one should be violent. And that drives me crazy. The central problem is not violence. The real problem is injustice. The reason why you have violence is because you have injustice, oppression, genocide, apartheid, and the intentional prevention of a Palestinian state, thus keeping the Palestinian people suffering in cruel captivity. Oppressed people have a moral and a legal right to fight back.
It's kind of unbelievable that such a high-profile mainstream political figure like Toure is straight up not only saying like, look at all the defensible things that Hassan has said, but also on top of that, like actively saying like, militancies have a right to resist militarily against occupied force, against a force that's occupying their lands, their territory, killing them. Doesn't he go on like MSNBC and stuff? Like that's usually... It's kind of cool.
But Piker is shocking to some because Americans have been fed a narrative that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, and they're a victim surrounded by enemies all around them, valiantly fighting back. It's like they want people to see Israel as like a white person who's moved into a rough black neighborhood and they're constantly being attacked by their neighbors because they're wild.
That's a really, I'm going to steal that analogy. That's a good one. So does Mehdi, to be fair? No, Mehdi does not. What are you talking about? Mehdi famously does not defend militant resistance. There's no metric, no category of barbarism by which Hamas could be considered more terroristic than the IDF. The atrocities committed by the IDF in just the month after October 7 dwarf those committed by Hamas in its entirety of its 40-year existence. There is no comparison. It's true. Toure is an OG hip hop journalist. He's interviewed a lot of great people. Yeah. That's a great take.
Brown people. Yeah, no.
It's not realizing that he's not the only one who read Wretched of the Earth. Okay,
No.
calm down.
Israel is a settler colonialist project that's captured native people and taken their land and attacked the neighboring.
It's not about the knowledge, chatter. Many people have the knowledge. It's about the courage to say the truth. Many people that have the knowledge would much rather deny the truth, would much rather refuse to say the truth, especially if they have a foot in with mainstream publications. That's the difference.
In countries because they view perpetual war as good for them politically. They also dream of expanding the borders of Israel. The image of Israel as the most aggressive nation in the Middle East, practicing apartheid, committing genocide, that can be hard to grapple with if you've grown up in the American news media's Israeli-centric bubble.
Israel is an apartheid state.
Piker's comments on Palestine and Israel are shocking to people who don't know the true story of what's going on. But he's not wrong. Piker says Judaism does not equal Zionism.
It actually serves a very anti-Semitic purpose when you tie Judaism falsely to an apartheid regime doing a genocide. You think in the interim period it might be an adequate defense. You might be able to even silence some critics. But all you are doing is falsely smearing the Jewish population. For the record, it doesn't even work anymore. This was like early on. With the crimes of a nation state that does not have the Jewish population's
Man, you look
best
so
interest
young here.
in mind. Guys, it's because I don't have a fucking beard, okay? Jesus Christ. Why do you guys are literally babies, okay? You know how, this chat reminds me of those videos of like father shaves his beard for the first time and watch what the baby does next. Okay? Literally. That's you. Okay? That's you. Every time you see a different length of facial hair, you go, wow, you look so different. A bunch of babies with no object permanence, and I'm the father.
He says Palestinians are not shown as human in Western media.
They refuse to show Palestinians as humans, and they have very successfully been able to dehumanize them. There are voices in Israel, there are voices out there who see it, who see the brutality, who see the endless humiliation that Palestine.
Yeah, they made fun. Remember when Destiny and all of the fucking psychopaths, many of which are now noticeably quiet about the issue of Israel. Have you guys noticed that? I mean, not Destiny, he's still pro-Israel, but so remember when everyone fucking made fun of me for crying during this leftovers video where they were like, how many centrist, apolitical, drama farming dipshits made fun of me for this for months on end?
Palestinian people have endured. And I stand with them, and I don't care. I will always stand with them, even if there is a moment of violent retaliation. Okay? They have nothing.
He says Israel is practicing collective punishment.
You said Israel has a right to defend itself.
But they didn't even do it when it happened. They went back like a year to accuse you of faking it at the time. Yeah. Yeah, they said I was faking it. They said I was like a bitch for crying. A lot of these clips are right after October 7 that Tory is using, by the way.
Absolutely zero people think that this is a ridiculous statement. However, how Israel is defending itself is collective punishment. Collective punishment in the form of depriving 2.2 million people of electricity, of water, of food.
He says Israel is an apartheid state.
Israel is falling out of favor because many Americans and many people in the Western world are now finally seeing the truth that Israel is an apartheid state that is built around an ethno-supremacist ideology and that Israel is doing a live-streamed genocide. This is the reason why Israel has fallen out of favor and has become a pariah state on the global stage.
He says Israel could stop the genocide right now.
Please explain how the Democrats can stop the genocide right now. It's this, okay? It's this. This is a telephone, okay? You pick up the telephone and you call up Benjamin Netanyahu and you say, hey, cut it out. No more weapons. Click.
And
the reason why America is so invested in Israel is because it is a permanent destabilizing factor in a resource-rich region.
There is now a coordinated campaign to smear this man's name and make him seem too toxic to be in polite democratic society.
If the name Hassan Piker just came across your timeline for the first time, it's probably because there has been a coordinated centrist smear campaign against this man for being right about Israel. Hassan has become a more prominent figure on the left in recent years. This has led centrist Democrats and their billionaire donors to accurately assess that Hassan is a threat to their grip on power.
This is not coworker Ludwig. This is friend Ludwig.
They failed to stop
This is Ludwig if he wasn't evil.
Zohran Mamdani from becoming mayor of New York. So now they're trying to make sure that his success can't be repeated elsewhere. They dislike Hassan because Hassan is not a politician. He cannot be bought and paid for by the donor class. And he is entirely supported by his own follower base, meaning the only way they can take him down is by making him radioactive to leftist candidates. So don't fall for it.
We are told that this campaign is coming from moderate Dems and the centrist group
Budwig. Yeah, that was Budwig, not Chudwig.
But I think it's actually fueled by the pro-Israel lobby, the likes of AIPAC and groups like it. They want to demonize Piker and make him seem too toxic for prime time, and thus to silence him. Not because anyone thinks he's going to run for office, but because he is an influential voice in progressive media at a moment when the Democratic Party might be at a tipping point over Israel and Palestine. Over the last 5 years, Democratic voters have become extremely pro-Palestinian. We now have an NBC poll saying 67% of Dems sympathize more with Palestinians than with Israelis. Gallup found 59% of Dems sympathize more with Palestinians. 76% of Dem voters now support an independent Palestinian state. Meanwhile, Democratic elected leadership remains extremely pro-Israel, in part because the pro-Israel lobby supports those who support Israel and attacks politicians who dare call a genocide a genocide. So we have a Democratic Party that's in the wilderness and trying to find itself and is deeply divided on the issue of Israel and Palestine. So will the party continue to drift in the direction that the elected officials and the pro-Israel...
Ludwig isn't evil. He's cowardly. You shouldn't suggest someone is evil even if you're joking. Oh my God, calm down. It's a very common fucking meme on the internet. When people say like, Markiplier is not evil Hassan. It's a joke, man. It's not. I'm not being serious. I like that you actually hit him with a more serious criticism than what I was doing. I was joking. You're now actually reaching biting criticism territory in your unbelievably woke statement. I was joking. You're being serious.
Lobby wants. Will Dems nominate a moderate like Gavin Newsom who won't call it a genocide? Or will the party slide in the direction that the voters want and become more pro-Palestinian and look maybe to a candidate like AOC who's unafraid to call genocide what it is? AOC may seem like a long shot to some, but in a Democratic Party where being pro-Palestinian is a crucial voting issue, like an issue that could make or break who voters choose, do not rule out AOC. But as the pro-Palestinian left rises in the form of AOC and Zohran Mamdani and millions of Democratic voters, the pro-Israel lobby wants to silence them. They can't have the pro-Palestinian left become an important voice, so they're trying to silence Pike.
People still bite the funeral bait so hard. I mean, who cares?
Now.
Who gives a shit?
The attacks on him are not because he's too wild. His comments are fairly common on the pro-Palestinian left. It's because a specific pro-Israel faction of the Democratic Party does not want him to be heard. When Democrats say Piker is bad for the party, the question is, bad for what party? Bad for the party that Democratic voters want, or bad for the party that AIPAC and the donor class wants? The Democratic voter base has become pro-Palestinian, and the Israel lobby is pushing back, trying to squash their influence. But if the Democratic Party is going to represent Democratic voters, it has to be pro-Palestinian. Piker speaks for Democratic voters on this issue. Will Dems listen to their base and respond to what their people want, or find a way to sabotage themselves again? Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment all the things. I'll be back tomorrow.
We're going to tell Rowan that he is going to get to meet Hassan tomorrow. So Rowan is a big fan. We're going to get him that handshake.
What is it for, said meeting?
The budget.
Love. Okay.
That was a great video by Tura, by the way. That was a banger. I've never seen such a clear defense of my positions. That was dope.
I love.
So we're gonna tell.
Anyway, this is
the budget.
This is the Shoykot video that came out. What the fuck?
Love. Okay. Rowan.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we're gonna walk over to Beit Rima at like 8ish.
It's not happening anymore. Yeah.
No, you're gonna meet Hassan.
Wait, really? Wait, what?
You're gonna meet Hassan.
Yo, give me a fucking hug, man! Yo! Hey! Ain't no fucking way! Let's go! Let's go!
Misophones are gonna get triggered into oblivion.
Wait, what? Wait, is it actually?
No, it's not April.
You can't do that to me, man. You guys can't do that.
No, it's April Reels. It's happening.
April Reels.
Calm as HasanAbi head. Why are y'all talking shit? You do the same ass bullshit, okay?
Oh my god. Yeah, you're gonna be launched up like, yo, you're Hassan, right? Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Yo. Kind of nervous. We're gonna meet Hassan Piker. Pretty excited. I got him a little souvenir, you know, so he remembers San Francisco, our home. I'm here with Hassan, my favorite streamer.
What's up, man?
What's up? Can I get a photo with you?
Yeah, sure.
Can I do a photo with you and then a photo with you in Shoykot?
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
This is a video.
I also, really quick, I actually got you a gift.
Wait,
a souvenir.
You got me a gift?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something small.
I was like, oh, I should have got my.
Yeah, you're the rich guy. What the hell?
I got my campaign staff.
Serendipity, unexpected cards and gifts.
Just something small. I got you a coaster for San Francisco, so you remember our city.
Okay.
And also you could put your Diet Dr. Peppers on it. You know,
Okay,
just in
thank you
case
so
it gets
much.
cold. Yeah,
Very-
of course.
Very thoughtful of you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
And you got a little note in here. Too.
Yeah, read that later, else it's embarrassing.
I'm not
you know
gonna
what I mean?
read it out loud here.
Let's grab some food. We're actually gonna go upstairs to their spot to eat dinner and then.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right, let's do it.
Chef Samir. Beit Rima, we have 2 locations. One is here in DeVos Triangle.
You talk like you're surprised you have fans. I am. What is this poll? Poll. What the fuck is the poll? Does Hassan nail the social interaction? Well, I voted yes. But of course everyone's going to vote no because they're fucking assholes. Okay.
So yeah, this was the original location. And that's it. We've been open since before COVID, 2019.
It's Palestinian?
Palestinian owned, yeah. Inspired cuisine.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of people also forget that I did this after like a 9-hour broadcast, and on top of that, I did the whole like University of San Francisco Law School speech that I did. So
we start with the fatu salad. Oh,
we'll get a full review.
God damn. Yeah, this is gonna be an ASMR video.
It's like a mukbang, right?
It's so funny because the number one criticism from my fans was always like, why are you eating on camera? And now I'm not even live and I'm still eating on camera. How are you gonna win some of these people over?
Just talking to them for the first part, you know, and then I think it's like actually explaining what I think.
I'm a BCBA. If you need someone to build your social skills program, what the fuck are you guys talking about, man? My social skills are fine.
We could do, and why I'm running in the first place, because it's not enough, and
oh my God,
like for anybody just go there and be like a safe progressive vote or a safe blue vote. Like I think the real opportunity right now is there's this massive change moment. There's a bunch of popular outrage, and we could channel that into an actual political revolution, the stuff that Bernie was talking about in 2016. But that means, you know, primering and replacing a bunch of corporate Democrats. It means going in there and being willing to like risk your career.
Check the poll results. Yeah. Oh, I'm shocked. 60% said no, I didn't nail the social interaction, and 40% said yes, I did.
It works. You go to DC and leadership will dangle all these carrots in front of you to say, hey, if you go along with us, you'll.
Love on the Spectrum season 2 came out, and everyone in your TikTok comments are spamming he nailed that social interaction. Wait, what do you mean? Isn't the he nailed that social interaction coming from, wasn't that Caleb Heron? Or is that actually from Love on the Spectrum? I thought Caleb Heron invented that. Yeah. It wasn't?
You'll get X, Y, Z, you'll get this committee seat, you'll, you know, in 30 years, you'll get to be chair of something. And that's why nothing changes. And like, I like that.
Yeah, my chat is way too fucking neuroatypical to be issuing judgments like this, okay? A lot of you are click-clacking away at your keyboards in a dark bedroom right now, terrified of any sort of social interaction with anyone that's not your mommy, and you're out here talking big shit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's such a waste. Like nothing's going to change if we do that. We're just going to end up with the same Democratic.
It's not judgment, it's peer reviews.
Party. We're going to get, you know, King Vance in 2032, and we'll have 40 years of authoritarianism and dystopia. People are so ready for this. Like we're living in the moment where this is possible. So it would just kill me if like we have this moment and we completely miss it. That'd be wild.
I look like I'm focusing on the food, but I'm listening, okay?
I don't doubt your ability to focus on a million things.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna read on camera. It's gonna probably look like I'm hounding this food, just freaking pounding the falafels.
We'll make an edit. Just you.
Yeah. This is far better than I thought it was gonna be. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Damn, this is like a fried pizza right off the bone. Oh my God.
Like, are you feeling the same?
Oh, that's fucking embarrassing. That is fucking embarrassing, dude. God, I'm such a fucking fat ass dude. I literally got the O face. My dog has more manners. I'm over here nutting. I said, damn, shit came off the bone. Ah! That's crazy. That is, oh God, that's fucked up. That is fucked up.
Thing right now around just like the moment, right?
Yes, I see it every day when I go out to protests, even when I go to the No Kings rallies, when I went out to Minneapolis, when I saw, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds out in the streets doing neighborhood watch, teachers, nurses, retirees, everyone has that same exact resentment. And I say resentment because they are resentful. They are very angry, not just at Donald Trump, but they're very angry at do-nothing Democrats. They're very angry at business as usual politics in general.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, I think the Democrats who normally vote along
not their own personal convictions, but along like what the electability argument favors, a calculation that the television has basically told them. They're now saying, we do believe that a Bernie-crat would be the true electable candidate.
Yeah, they're becoming more risk-taking. Like, I feel like there's this...
But it's not a risk.
I agree it's not a risk. It's a risk not to do this, but, you know, for the average mainstream Democrat, they felt like Bernie was a risk, right? They felt like doing this kind of politics is a risk, which is sort of funny because, you know, I spent time in, like, Tennessee and in Texas, and in some ways, like, the populist stuff.
You can tell the guy's hopelessly looking at the food that's left and calculating how much he can get before you finish it. Look, he is. His eyes. His eyesight. Oh, oh no. Y'all are fucked up, dude. That is messed up. Why are you calling me out like this, man?
Is easier to get across in the Republican Party. Like, it doesn't surprise me that Trump did their version of populism before the Democrats did, right? You know, I've been trying to talk to candidates who are also running all around the country, and people, it seems different. Like, when I was doing Justice Democrats, like, most of the candidates we were talking to who weren't candidates we had recruited were still kind of in their mode of like, you know, how can you help me? How can you raise money? It was just fine. That's the stuff you got to do in the campaign. But now some of the people I talked to, they really want to know what to do. Like, what are we going to do when we're in Congress? And I'm hoping that like, we got to build a relationship before we go in, because I saw how, like, when you go in there, if you try to do it after you get elected, leadership picks you apart. They lie. They do everything they can to make that not work.
No eye contact at all with Shortcut, bro. Buddy, have you noticed? That's not autism, okay? That's because I was literally locked in on the food. And I was eating like my life depended on it. I was eating like I would never have food ever again, that I had never had food before that moment. And there's not a single moment where I'm not looking at either what's going in my mouth or what's coming next. Okay? Yeah, I was looking at, the only times where I was not looking directly at my fork was when I was thinking about what I was going to put in my mouth next.
But I haven't had as many in-depth conversations as probably you had. Look at that.
Oh my God.
This time.
Shortcut, this is you.
Thank you.
And then...
You see, I'm copping a peek at what his food looks like, too.
Shortcut, this is you.
Look. No manners. I told you. The only time I'm such a fucking little piggy, dude. I was looking at his food. Oh no. Oh God. Fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. I in the moment, I'm not even kidding. In the moment, I was thinking, like, you think it's fucked up if I asked to try his food? Oh. Oh. Are you gonna eat that?
And then
I gave a second look. Look, it wasn't enough. I did another drive-by. Look, while I'm putting the food in my mouth. Oh, that's so fucked up. Oh my God, I can't ever do that. I can't ever do a video like this ever again. Oh my God, that's fucked up.
lamb shank. And then I brought 2 chicken skewers also.
Can't believe I haven't had that before.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I wanted to get this because it said Gazan. I'm Turkish. We have almost identical food. I mean, Palestine was under the Ottoman Empire's protectorate for the longest time. So our food and our shared cultures is very similar.
Foreign policy is always such a tough thing to forefront in like domestic politics. But now this war in Iran is...
Look. Look. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's explaining stuff to me. And I'm looking at more food. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh God. Oh no. Someone said, bro, you're the new Anthony Bourdain. No, motherfucker, I can't be. Because it's clear. It's clear that I don't have the composure and the self-restraint to be able to conduct myself in an appropriate manner when we're doing videos like this.
Fun of mine, and everyone knows how much money we're blowing on it. And it's just like, and everything and like the price of gas is going up, which is making it very front and center for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I think there's this huge opportunity to get a bunch of people elected who are just going to break this bipartisan consensus for war in DC, because people actually care about it right now, which is not a normal thing. It's like the one potential silver lining out of all of it.
It came out in the New York Times report earlier today that...
Stop looking at the food. 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 Oh my God. Oh my God. I never stop. I never break eye contact with the food.
Trump actually wants to expand the military budget to $1.5 trillion. And he... Immediately.
One look and then back to the food. Like, it's not going anywhere. Hassan, it's not going anywhere. The food is right there in front of you, man. Stop trying to make a calculated decision on whether or not you need to eat more. Oh, that's
He's
so
going to
unbelievable.
go to the midterms with that message that, like, we just need to expand the military budget and we need to do austerity here, which is psychotic. I mean, I genuinely think, like, if I were to invent a secret agent that wants to undermine American imperialism, it would look like Donald Trump. It would do the things that Donald Trump is doing.
And that is one of the conspiracy theories about it, right?
Like, be like super vulgar about it, you know, say the quiet part out loud all the time. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill people for oil. Also, none of those revenues are gonna come back to you, actually. It's gonna go to all my best friends because we're all corrupt. We're all super corrupt and we love manipulating the market. And I'm gonna keep manipulating the market. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna sell a shit coin. First thing I'm gonna do before I become president. And it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, he still has a cult, which to give him credit, like, that's impressive.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
How's everything?
It was incredible.
So good.
Everybody come visit Bay Rima 138 Church in the Bose Triangle. Come see us.
This food is delicious. It's so good. It's my favorite spot in the city.
God bless you guys, man, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
And you, great work.
Oh, thank you.
I watch you all the time. So.
Hell yeah.
You have
Hassan Piker freakouts. Whoa, what the hell? Hassan Piker freakout backfire spectacularly on Secular Talk. ADL's a full-blown meltdown over Hassan. There's another one. Also on Secular Talk. But we got the Mother Jones interview. I got to watch.
Fascist forces in this country are screaming from the rooftops, and they chose the issue of Israel to attack me on, which is the most base uniting position.
Oh, here was the Emerson clip, by the way. Let's see. How did Abdul El Sayed's appearance with Hassan Piker impact his Michigan Senate chances? Pollster explains.
In recent months over statements and actions in relation to his campaign. Most recently, he has received criticism over his decision to campaign with political commentator Hassan Piker. But based on the numbers that we're seeing out of this poll here, it doesn't really seem like that's impacting him in a negative way at all.
No, it does not. So what I will say is that he has built the support with voters who are under the age of 50 broadly. Now, that is going to be important, and we do think that this is going to be a younger electorate. But with that said, older voters are almost always going to be a more surefire bet in a primary electorate. So all things considered, I would really rather be McMorrow and gaining some of those older voters rather than being completely dependent on younger voters who aren't necessarily going to turn out in higher numbers. We do expect that they will be higher than in years past, but we don't know that they're going to be enough to put El Sayed over the top. But to your point, we absolutely do not see any sort of backlash as of yet to his campaigning with Hassan Piker.
Yeah, they're right. They're right. Older voters are the most reliable voters. Let's be real. Come on, how many old people do you know? How many old people you know? They vote like is their passion, bro. They vote like it's the only thing keeping them alive. Like they cling on to voting. They cling on to the capacity to vote more than they cling on to life at times. They love voting, and they fucking oftentimes love voting for the worst candidates, right? I mean, they fucking love to vote for whoever is going to ensure that their grandchildren never get to retire and will probably die in a hellfire damnation that the world will turn into because of the anthropogenic climate change decisions that they voted into office. So, we got to get those olds on board, and you got to play a role in that too. You got to get your olds in your life to turn around and what is this? You got to get those olds in your life to turn around and go vote for Abdul El Sayed. I'm going to stop you right there. Millennials with the highest turnout demographic for Zoran. We can do this. No, we still need the olds too. I saw a 107-year-old woman talking about always voting for Trump. We need a cutoff. I agree.
They took a 90-10 issue and chose to be on the 10% side of this 90-10 issue.
I had just woken up, as you can tell.
Hassan Piker's name has been everywhere lately. Not for winning an election, not for passing legislation, not for doing anything really, except for yapping. And depending on who you ask, he's either one of the most dangerous voices in American politics or one of the most honest. Hassan is among one of the biggest voices on the American left. His megaphone is a Twitch stream where he spends about 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, breaking down political news to an audience that skews young and male. And if you listen to him long enough, you can see why. He's blunt, if not crass. He toes the line between relatable and aspirational. He's deeply influential, and of course, he's controversial.
This is a thug. This is an extremist. This is an advocate for terrorism.
Which is
wait, Karl Rove? What the fuck?
Why some factions of the Democratic Party have been beefing with him for the last.
Bro, Fox News has done so much coverage on me. I didn't even know Karl Rove talked about me. Karl Rove called me a fucking thug. I mean, I am thug life, but that's crazy. That's crazy that Jesus Christ.
Last few weeks, pointing to off-color comments he's made over the years. I sat down with Hassan Piker to talk about exactly that. We talked about why Fox News can't stop covering him, the ideological battles inside the Democratic Party, what he really thinks about Israel, and what, if anything, the Democrats could do to earn his vote in 2028. This is my chat.
Yeah, bro. Actually, low Kirk and honor. If a Fox News commentator calls you a thug, that's an automatic invite to the cookout, right? Like that's because we all know what that's a substitute. What that's a substitute for, like word wise. Like maybe half an invite.
With Hassan Piker, enjoy. Hassan Piker, thank you so much for making.
This is an unfucking believable photo that they somehow edited to. What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro, looking like Kevin Jones. They made you look a little zesty. Bro, this is like my worst haters would not have done this to me.
Taking the time.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting. I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you.
Very excited to be on.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Well, I guess this is an interesting way to start, which is that you talk a lot, man. Like you talk like respectfully, right? You talk, it's the job. But I wonder, what do you think has contributed the most to your kind of current position in the national media spotlight? If I were to kind of give you a few options, I think obviously the out of context clip economy is an option here. Maybe you talk about Israel and Palestine and progressive things and conservative things. But what would you say has kind of put you?
New form of censorship is making you look less hot. Michael Parenti didn't consider this. True. That's how you disparage critics of Empire.
The discourse.
I mean, it's hard to figure out exactly what is the highest offense because I have an anti-imperialist framework. I'm socialist. These are not exactly ideas that a lot of people are fond of hearing, especially, corporate-backed mainstream institutions. And then my position on Israel, of course, is also very frustrating for a lot of people. But I would say that the fact that I speak on a contentious format that is very interactive on polarizing issues from a perspective that is of the left, a perspective that many Americans are either unfamiliar with or taught to be antagonistic towards, combine all of that. And of course, you're going to have an inevitability such as this.
I guess on a personal level, how are you processing like the onslaught of criticism? I mean, we'll get into the politics of it all in a bit, but I'm curious how you're doing personally. This isn't the first one, but this one's been maybe a bit different. Would you agree?
Talking politics is my passion. HaZZZ. Yeah, bro. That was for LA Times. I had slept for like 2 hours the night prior, and I was up at that was like 6 a.m. or something, LA time. All right. Yeah, but it's been different, not in a negative way. It's actually been quite positive. Yeah, chat has been on my ass today, bro. Y'all are on my ass. Oh, Hassan, why are you so fat? Oh, Hassan, why do you look so old with your beard? Oh, Hassan, why do you sound so sleepy? The fuck is this? Find these last couple of weeks. I mean, I find it strange that it's been going on for the past couple of weeks. Nothing goes on for more than 4 days in America. In our current news cycle, this has been the most resilient thing, and I think it's partially because, I'm live all the time, so I'm obviously going to give Fox News more ammo every single day, as they have been. They've been updating the RNC research department is constant. Hassan Piker will kill billions if we let him. That's fucking awesome. I mean, yeah. True. Constantly posting new clips of me every day. I even joked about it at the Yale Union last night where I was like, today we're going to talk about the resolution to end the American empire. And then tomorrow your grandparents are going to hear about it on Fox News, which is literally happening right now. So I guess that's a big part of it as well. Maybe some Republicans think this is a great opportunity to like tie someone that they consider to be radical to the Democratic Party so they can attack the Democratic Party. And then there's plenty of right-wing forces in the Democratic Party who also recognize that there's like an ideological battle within the party itself. The idea that we talk about with like big tent or, who's in the tent and whatnot, all this stuff actually is a pretty basic spiritual fight that the Democrats have conducted, and the centrists have successfully defeated the left flank over and over again up until recently. That's the heart of it.
Could you name that spiritual fight? Like, what are the two sides of that fight?
This dude really watching himself? True. What is this? Twitter lib talking about how global is intifada from the river to the sea. Blank slate. When you're legitimizing globalizing the intifada and running a movement to delegitimize the Jewish state, it becomes personal to all Jewish voters. There are around 300,000 Jewish voters in PA, 100K in Michigan, 50K, 30K, 125K GA, 85K Arizona. They matter in states that matter too. He's not Jewish, for anyone wondering. Wait. Just a quick question. Are you Jewish? No, but my first preschool was at a Jewish community center. Winky face.